This week there's a big event going on here at the PBT offices, and it's a consultation for the Bible translations. This happens maybe 2 or 3 times every year, and what we're doing is bringing together several different translation projects. The translators, who are nationals who speak that language, they are coming here to meet together with a consultant who's kind of like an expert in Bible translation, in the book that they're working on, and in the languages in this region. And he's able to walk them through verse by verse the book of the Bible that they're translating, and go over kind of what kind of issues may come up, verses that are difficult to translate, kind of do a deeper explanation to make sure that the Bibles are communicating what they're supposed to in the languages that we're translating them into.
If you can word it in that way as a rhetorical question, are you not the ones who should judge those who are inside the group of believers, your group of believers?
This is my good friend Michael, and he is a PBT missionary who is an exegete here, and he's working at this consultation. He's going to kind of explain how things are working out.
All right, so we have 8 teams in this consultation, and we take one team at a time. The team will read their version out loud, and then one of them will give a back translation into English. So they translate it very quickly into English. All of the teams are looked at for every verse, of course, but we normally take one team at a time for that process. And then maybe after a chapter, we switch to a different team and have them do their back translation.
This is Mr. Funnel. He is the consultant for this event, and he's kind of the one up front here, kind of leading the whole thing. And so I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about what's going on. Kind of in general about this consultation, what is it, what are we trying to accomplish here during the next couple of weeks?
This is a group consultation. We've got 8 language groups here, and we're trying to work through 1st and 2nd Corinthians in the 2 weeks. The teams are quite experienced, they've had lots of training, they know what we do here, so they're quite familiar. They all interact, but we're trying to check every verse of 1st and 2nd Corinthians in 2 weeks, in 8 languages.
It seems like a big job.
It's a big job, but with the exegetes helping me, you know, I'm able to help make some suggestions which are carried out into all the groups, and then I get the feedback whether they think it's a good or a more difficult change to make. So it's a team effort.
Yeah. In a normal day, how many verses do we hope to get through?
Good question. We're not trying to rush the process, but we give translators the opportunity after every verse to assess the accuracy of their verse. Once it's been, we do a back translation of that verse, and then all the translators and exegetes evaluate their verse. We evaluate as many as we can. I can understand about 4 of the languages reasonably well. Okay. I scan them to see if I can see any differences in their translation to the one that we've basically approved, should we say. And then we move to the next verse. So, but we're trying to get it through about 67 verses a day, if we want to do every verse in Corinthians, 1st and 2nd. So it's a lot of work.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for this consultation?
I think the biggest challenge is just to keep the teams moving in good cooperation. Also there's a lot of different personalities, and there's a lot of, we don't want to miss anything in terms of correcting or just checking the work. So that's the problem with group consultations, is you can't be looking at every single verse with a fine-tooth comb as a personal individual. But we are trusting that all the exegetes are doing that, and the translators. And if there are any problems, they verbalize them. So the biggest challenge is just to make sure that the quality of the work is acceptable, and that we accomplish our goals to do 1st and 2nd Corinthians, because we want this New Testament published in these 10 languages of the cluster, hopefully by 2012 at the end. So the seed company is funding us, and with PBT and the Word for the World, we'd like to see this goal accomplished. And I think we can make it.
Cool. Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So that's what's happening this week here at PBT in East Africa. Thanks for watching.